Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo.
On this episode of the History of the Chorus podcast with Curtis and Josh, we take a look at the band from Long Island, New York, known as Brand New. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at It's Survived by Pro for news and latest episode postings. And make sure to subscribe to the show, leave us a 5-star review, and write us a comment on YouTube or whatever podcast service you're using. Make sure to check us out on TikTok and give us a follow at It's Survived by Productions. And if you'd like to see us do some live streams, leave us a comment or tweet us the keyword stream. Now, without further ado, let's start the show.
The devil is in Atlanta, army surrounded.
I'm going to stay 18 forever. So we can stay like this forever. And we'll never miss a party because we keep them going constantly. And we'll never have to listen to anyone about anything because it's all been done. It's all been said. We're the coolest kids, can't you tell? And we take what we can get. Welcome back to the History of the Chorus podcast, sponsored by the Church of the Seventh Track, where each and every episode we take a look at the history of a band from the core genre. Curtis, with me as always, is my co-host, Josh. What up, Josh?
Curtis, you're just jealous because we're young and in love.
Exactly.
You're just jealous.
Jealous. You're just jealous, man. Ugh. Teen angst at its finest. Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry. Another week is upon us, Josh. A dare I say, brand new band to talk about. What did I do there? Oh boy, I got jokes. Yeah. But before we get into that, Josh, a couple of housekeeping things. We had a couple of brand new episodes from the History of the Chorus After Hours podcast come out the past 2 weeks. So yeah, if you haven't catch those yet, here's a little preview of both episodes for you right here, right now. So, I brought up the deal about lyric booklets, online database, so on and so forth. Because man, unless you just go buy a CD anymore, it's like that's just kind of a lost art, right? Here's another lost.
To buy CDs that you want, that's harder too.
Yeah,
but anyway,
that's true. Yeah. Well, here's another lost art for you, Eric. Pre-Gap songs. Are you familiar with pre-Gap songs?
familiar.
Man, I miss pre-Gap songs. And in the digital age, there's just like, there's no way to do it. I mean, you had to have a physical copy and hit the reverse button to even like find these hidden tracks in between songs or at the beginning of an album or whatever. And it blows my mind that in 2024, there's not a way to somehow get that on iTunes or Spotify or whatever. And it's just, oh man. Do you have any pre-Gap songs that come to your mind?
I couldn't remember what it was, but I remember finding out about these in like '06 or '07. And I can't remember the name, the album, anything about it. But I remember looking through all of my CD collection. I put everyone in the CD player, hit reverse just to see if it would go into the negatives or go zero or go, there's a couple of different ones I saw. But I checked over every CD that I own looking for that. And I think I only found 1 or 2 out of everything I own. But man, that was so cool, so hyped to find that.
All right. Yeah. The occurrence of their hiatus
record label
was kind of a strange one, with drummer Phil Chamberlain saying, quote, "We never really talked about the band. We just stopped talking about the band." Okay. While vocalist Gage Spees stated, quote, "Honestly, we were burned out and we didn't know how to handle ourselves. We were all going through heavy personal stuff, and always being on tour made us all feel exhausted and trapped. We didn't know how to balance it all. Okay. Two things I'm going to read on here in a second, but two things. I've got something for each quote here. First, the deal about what Phil's saying about we never really talked about the band, we just stopped talking about the band. It's probably because they all realize this isn't going anywhere, but nobody wants to say this isn't going anywhere. So we're just kind of like ghosting each other, you know? And then the Gage Spees stuff about we were burnt out and we didn't know how to handle ourselves. We were all going through heavy personal stuff. Yeah, hey, here's something for you. Don't read suicide notes every day, and that'll probably help on your little anxiety there, bro. I mean, seriously, come on. I bet that contributed to some of it. Anyway, I digress. I'm moving on here. The hiatus ended, and connecting to his original comment, Chamberlain said, quote, "It was crazy. In the same way we stopped talking about the band, we started talking about the band again. It just happened." Can we all agree, Eric, that the awkward way that the brief quote unquote breakup occurred may be attributed to like what we've already discussed in length, the constant search for their identity, the turnover, just all of it, all just wrapped into one. I mean, come on, man. And the suicide notes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just insane, man. But yeah, I think it kind of goes back to like what I was saying about his original quote. It's like ghosting each other, because I almost just like have this feeling that nobody wanted to admit that this wasn't going anywhere, and they didn't like what they were doing at the time, at least. And so they just kind of was like, "We'll see who blink first." And then they just kind of fade into the bushes like Homer Simpson. Did you even watch it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Do you want to say something about him?
I don't remember having anything super particular that jumped out at me. I I did want to say that I'm happy that we've got Eric in the video with us now.
Yes.
It's good to see that young man. Haven't seen him since he's been a full-blown man, so good to see him. And I also wanted to tip my cap to him for trying to salvage To Speak of Wolves, trying to find some redeeming qualities for that band. It's tough to do.
Whoa.
Somebody needs to be out there doing it. It's a tough job. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. Somebody out there likes them a lot.
I think, yeah, I mean, I think
Apparently.
they had a
They have
fair
a following.
following,
It was like
but
what? I think it was like 2,000 followers on Spotify. I think is what, or monthly listeners or whatever you want to call it.
yeah, it's not
But yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, but it's not something.
Yeah. And that's
It's no Taylor Swift.
problem of the band. We're not nothing.
Yeah,
We're not
we're
something.
something. We're just here.
You just exist. Oh,
Yeah.
I also wanted to show you my sick shirt.
Purple Rain. Purple Rain. Beautiful.
The best
Nice.
Prince album.
Nice.
That's my
Nice,
favorite.
man. Is that what you listened to this week, Prince?
I
Purple
actually
Rain?
didn't listen to Prince this
What?
week, but
But
yeah,
he
I
wore
know.
the shirt.
Yeah, but I had to wear the shirt.
Okay, what did you listen to this week, Josh?
I didn't really listen to a lot throughout the week, but after I get through
What did you listen
listening-
to in the last hour? Let me say that.
The sounds of myself sleeping.
Beautiful.
Let me see here real quick. Okay, so I did I wanted to listen to that new 68 album and just kind of give that a listen because you said you thought it was their best one so far.
Whoop, wait a minute. What was it called?
It's the one just titled 68, right?
I don't know, because they just put out a new one. I haven't
the
listened
one
to
with the
that one
snake
yet.
on it, right?
Yeah, it's like two vipers. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. I'll have to look it up here. But anyway,
It's
go
called
ahead.
Yes and.
No, that's their newest one. I haven't listened to that one yet.
Okay.
The one that
Well,
I was
I did
talking
listen to
about,
part of that.
okay, the one I was talking about was it's called Give One, Take One. That was 3 years ago now. Well, it'll be 3 years ago this coming March.
Okay.
Yes, and
Um,
is was just released this last September.
okay. Rattle on for a
So
second while I change out this battery.
okay, now while we're waiting on him, I'll just go ahead and tell you what I listened to this week because I know mine's more important than that and this idiot over here next to me who's going bald on top of his head right there. Look at that beautiful head. Beautiful. Wait, can he still hear me? I feel like he may still be able to hear me. Maybe not. Oh well. Look at that. He's trying to put his sunglasses on top of his head too, but they won't fit. Anyway, here's what I listened to this week. I had a nice little throwback moment to a good old band known as Between the Buried and Me. Used to be really big into this band. I discovered them during their Alaska album, which I believe was 2005. If you are a regular listener of this podcast, you will know that because we've mentioned Alaska a lot. We've mentioned um, I used to have Silent Circus CD, and I burned the crap out of that thing, or wore the crap out of that thing. And then
Okay.
after Alaska, we they put out this one behind me. Um, it was entitled Colors. And I have to say, I don't want to say it's their best one yet because I haven't listened to every single album that Between the Buried and Me have put out, but um, Colors is up there, man. It's really good, and Colors 2 is really good too. Um, this one, I think I looked it up. Can you hear me now, Josh?
Yes. Good Lord,
Okay.
I could not get that cover off.
Let me ask you another question before I carry on with this or this album that I was talking about behind me. Um, could you hear me at all?
No.
Good, good, good. It's for your own good.
No, it's my
Anyway,
headphone. It's my headphone battery that was
well,
changing.
yeah, but I didn't know if like it like disconnected your headphones and then just like came over like the system or something.
Oh no, I just had the speakers
So,
off.
because I looked like you were laughing because I was like, oh crap, I think he hears me.
No, I
But
was
anyway,
just laughing at my
uh,
struggle.
anyway, Josh, do you recognize this album behind me?
Um, I don't recognize it, but I know you said it was Colors, right?
Yeah, Between the Buried and Me.
Yeah.
It was right after Alaska, so it'd be their
Oh, okay.
fourth album. One thing that I really enjoy about this album, and I really enjoyed it when it came out, um, is the fact that they wrote it basically. I think there's like 9 or 10 songs, and they basically wrote it to where like every song flows into the other one, to where it's like you wouldn't even notice if you just put it on. And so it's supposed to sound like one big song, basically,
Hmm.
which is sick. Sick.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Ooh, hey, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, back to you, Josh. Purple Rain. Yay, nay.
Well, of course, yay. Okay, so I did listen to the first like 3 or 4 tracks off of 68's new album, Yes and.
That's right.
I thought
Okay.
that's the one you were talking about, so I listened to a few tracks off that. I like what I've heard so far on that. I think it was the song Removed Their Hooks. I think you're really gonna like that one.
I've heard some they whatever singles that they put out before the whole album was released, I heard some of them. There was one that, and it may have been that one that you're talking about, that um it was, I mean, I didn't hate any of them that they put out single wise, but there was one that really stood out that like made me think, like he kind of did like some like old school Josh Scoggins screams. I was like, okay, okay, I like this. I like this a lot. But I can't remember what the song was called. But anyway, carry on, Josh. Carry on.
And then I also, just a little more from the Chariot, a little off the Fiance, a little off of Wars. Is it going to surprise anybody if I say that I also listened to the back half of Listen to the Color from Arsonist Kill All the Girls,
Nice.
and also um, most of Game of Life. And then I also, oh, another one of my just all-time albums, Born of Osiris's The Discovery. Um, that was really a sweet spot for them. It's coming out of The New Rain, and I cannot remember the name of the one after that. Let's see here real quick. Because The Discovery is their third album. It was A Higher Place. So The New Rain, A Higher Place, and then Discovery in 2011. And it's right before their sound just starts to get a little repetitive. And it becomes a little less the keyboards that you know and love and more just kind of ambient soundscapes. Yeah, their later albums get a little weird. The Simulation, I remember Soul Sphere being kind of weird. Tomorrow We Die Alive was the first one where they really kind of feel like kind of were embracing that new sound. And the
Mhm.
Discovery, they were only just starting to dabble in it. So it's got a really fresh sound for them. But yeah, have you ever listened to that album?
No.
Okay, I would definitely recommend it. And the flow between it
What album was it
is
again?
the Discovery.
Okay.
And then the transition between Devastate and Recreate, which are the fourth and fifth tracks, just a perfect transition. Like those songs definitely go together. I think if you listen to them back to back, they feel like two sides of a coin. So
Now you are talking about the Daft Punk album Discovery, correct?
no, this is Born of Osiris.
That's just the one that came up. I was like, what the heck? That's not what I wanted. Yeah, I got you,
No,
man.
definitely not Daft Punk.
Yeah. Speaking of Death of Osiris.
Death of Osiris.
Born of Osiris. I don't know where that came from. Born of Osiris. Um, their guitarist Lee McKinney. Are you
Yeah.
familiar? Eric turned me on to, and I haven't listened to it yet, but apparently he's got a solo project that is like post rock instrumental,
Hmm.
but it's like, I guess it'd be kind of like, it's not just like chill and ambient, it's like heavy. But I haven't listened to it yet, but I thought maybe might be something up your alley to check out.
Yeah,
I think it's
I mean
just,
he's been doing it for years.
let's say, I think it's just Lee McKinney. I don't think he has any like other name to it or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
But
saw
anyway,
them. I wish I would have seen them a little bit earlier because they were missing one of their original members by that point. Because they've been a five a five piece for a while and they're originally a six, because they've always had keyboards. And yeah, I think I saw them around Soul Sphere. So that would have been by the time they were just a five piece.
yeah.
Uh,
Nice.
I think that's pretty much it for me.
Nice. Cool, man. All right, are you ready to dive on into this band this brand new band that we're about to talk about? Brand new.
This canceled band, this brand new
This
canceled band that
this
we're,
brand new canceled band whose name is ironically named Brand New.
oh yeah.
All righty. Yeah, let's get on into that We'll talk about the cancel part later in the next episode. Stick around for that. Oh.
Yeah, it's just, eh, you know, regardless, it kind of taints this period of time for the band because you know the way the
What's
timeline
going
sits.
on? Yeah.
So, yeah, so you know that's happening during these two albums that we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. Way to ruin it.
It just, yeah, it's, you know,
Is what it is. I
yeah.
mean, yeah. Alrighty. Brand New is categorized under the genres of post-hardcore, alternative rock, indie rock, emo, and pop punk. Talking about the style and the legacy that Brand New has left behind. Brand New has been recognized as one of the most beloved and important bands of the emo genre. But the band has had a mixed relationship with the emo label as vocalist Jesse Lacey has made his feelings known by stating, quote, I think emo started on this single faceted idea of I was hurt by someone else, but it's only a small part of the entire spectrum of emotion that people go through. Unfortunately, the struggle against this trend of music we were grouped in has become a large part of our band. Long Island concert promoter Christian McKnight said that, quote, they never really had the scene association like Taking Back Sunday. And I think a lot of that was by choice. They became more brooding and isolated, and they weren't part of the bigger scene at large. Now, the band members have cited influence from bands in the genres of shoegaze to noise rock, specifically naming the Smiths, Ride, the Stone Roses, the Beatles, Sonic Youth, My Bloody Valentine, Fugazi, Modest Mouse, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, and many more. Their enduring following, described as cult-like, is notable in that their fan base and legacy have continuously remained strong throughout their entire career, whereas other bands from the 2000s emo scene have faded into obscurity. The band has been widely praised by critics for creating artistic statements with their music instead of aiming for mainstream success like many of their contemporaries did. Formed in Long Island, New York in 2000 by Jesse Lacey on vocals and guitar, Garrett Tierney on bass, and drummer Brian Lane, all of whom were previous members of a post-hardcore band called The Rookie Lot, which also featured members Brandon Riley and Alex Dunn of the band Crime in Stereo. The trio of Lacey, Tierney, and Lane would recruit friend and member of One Last Goodbye, Vincent Arcardi, to play on guitar. And Josh, did you actually know that before starting Brand New, frontman Jesse Lacey played bass in Taking Back Sunday for a year, even contributing to the recording of their EP Taking Back Sunday in 2000?
I did not know that.
Wow, I just blew your mind.
Whoa!
Whoa. Before we move on, Josh, how were you introduced to Brand New? What was the moment that you found them?
I want to say that was a band that Brandon probably turned me on to.
Okay.
It
You know about
seems, I mean, the timing seems about right. It probably would have been, I mean, the first thing I heard from them was definitely Your Favorite Weapon.
okay.
And then I probably would have found out about them in between Your Favorite Weapon and Deja Entendu.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Cool.
yeah, I don't know. This band has a lot of like weird memories for me too. Like Your Favorite Weapon, more so like just good like summer times, you know.
Yes. Yep.
Deja Entendu, more weirder time in my life. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
just like the people, I don't know. Let me ask you this, Curtis. Do you know anybody who like Brand New was like their favorite band for
I
a
don't
long time?
I don't think I knew anybody that liked the band Brand New. At least they didn't admit it to me.
Okay, well, let me tell
And
you.
I don't think that's like a deal of like again going off of what comes later on. I think it's just a deal of like nobody said, "Yeah, I like Brand New." You
Yeah,
know.
let me tell you, Curtis, these are some fucking weirdos. Like,
In what way?
when I think about when I think about some of the people that I knew that Brand New was like that was their favorite band, especially
Wait,
during like
are you talking about the band members are weird, or are you talking about the people that you knew that liked them are weird?
the people that I knew that
Oh, okay.
that was their
Okay.
favorite band, you know.
Okay, gotcha.
And I always liked Brand New. I don't think I would have ever thought they were my favorite band.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah.
And especially because they feel like I've always thought this about Brand New. They feel like lyrically and thematically like a light Third Eye Blind.
Okay. Okay. I
There's
can
a
see that then,
lot of
yeah.
similarities between them, I feel like.
Yeah.
A lot of very um, sexually charged lyrics,
Yeah.
a lot of drug charged lyrics. So, um, but yeah, I just feel like those people were always very, I don't know. It's a hard one to
Different.
describe. Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you like if you knew anybody like that
Uh,
because it's just it's a hard thing to nail down, but they are a very specific breed.
yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
Because I
But
mean,
I'm
this is depending on what era too that you're talking about here, what album you're talking about. If it's your favorite weapon, it's got more of an upbeat kind of pop punk summertime feel to it.
right. Yeah.
If you're listening to Deja and Tendu, it has a like we start getting into sad boy territory, you
Right.
know,
Hmm.
and then it just goes from there. So,
Right.
you know, if when you're drawn in the sad boy crowd, it's yeah, it's a strange group.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. It's like I like Brand New, but they never were like my favorite band. So glad I'm not one of those weirdos.
I feel like they
Right.
shouldn't be your favorite band. When somebody tells me that like one of these sad boy depresso bands is their favorite band, I worry about you.
You
Like
put your
that's
hand
not
on their
good.
shoulder.
Yeah, that's
I'm
not
worried
good.
about you,
That
brother.
shouldn't be your favorite band. If it is, it's like something's wrong.
You need help. You're
Yeah.
on drugs. All I wanted was a Pepsi, bro. She wouldn't give it to me.
Oh God.
Anyway. All right. The band's initial intention was to, quote, move outside of whatever notions they felt inclined to when they were making music as younger people. Playing local shows with such talent as Glassjaw and Midtown, the band would cut a 4-song demo to start gaining some traction in the, quote, scene.
Oh,
It,
Midtown though, bro. Midtown. Or no, not
good band?
Midtown. I was
Glassjaw?
thinking Midway. Never mind.
Midway?
Yeah,
What's happening?
Midway.
Boy, I forgot about that band.
Yeah.
Nice. Good one. Good
Nice.
one. Josh, it only took 2 shows for Brand New to be discovered by one Triple Crown Records. 2 shows, Josh. Two
Wow.
shows. Yeah. Well, there's a little bit of story behind that. Fred Feldman, the founder of Triple Crown Records, was initially interested in a hardcore band named Hometown Hero, a band that featured bassist Garrett Tierney and drummer Brian Lane. But the time Feldman had contacted Lane, Hometown Hero had been broken up for 6 months. Instead, Lane would send in Brand New's demo for the label to listen to, and lo and behold, that's how they got signed after 2 shows. So,
Ah.
yeah, kind of a little backdoor entrance there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so with the record label to back the group and the drummer already working at a studio, the band was ready to record their debut album, the one right behind Josh with the little chess clock. Nice. 2001's Your Favorite Weapon from Triple Crown Records. Produced by Mike Sapone, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, this guy produced every single one of their albums. So good use of that name. He has also done work with Taking Back Sunday, I Am the Avalanche, Crime in Stereo, Stray Light Run, Oh Brother, The Front Bottoms, and many more. Interesting fact for you here, Josh. The initial recordings for your favorite album would be lost. Dun, dun, dun. So the band would have to go back through again and record every song over. Good.
That's tough.
Yeah, it sucks. Lacey's rough departure from Taking Back Sunday would be referenced in the song 70 times 7 as it describes Lacey's point of view of the feud between Taking Back Sunday's guitarist John Nolan and himself, while Nolan would write his own point of view of the feud in Taking Back Sunday's song There's No I in Team. Funny thing about that though, Josh, the tour to support this very album right here saw Taking Back Sunday and Brand New going on tour together. So, short-lived, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of strange. But anyway, maybe it's just a deal where it's like they both put out those songs and they listen to them. They're like, okay, I get it. Get it, bro. And then they dapped each other up. And yeah, everything was rainbows and unicorns. Alrighty, looking back on the album sometime later, the band expressed feelings of disappointment with how the record had turned out. Now, I'm not really sure what exactly they were disappointed with. I kind of wonder maybe if it's kind of like a rough production of like your first album, maybe like the sound. Maybe they weren't really into the pop punk teenage angst that we hear a lot of on this album. I don't know, but apparently they later on expressed feelings of disappointment with how the recording turned out. But anyway, obviously they didn't go back through and re-record it though, so because it wasn't that disappointing.
Right. And have you seen the deluxe version of this album? Because
Mhm.
it's got some original recordings,
Mhm.
like at the end there.
Right.
And I don't know if those were from the lost recording or if they were just something that got put down, before they did the produced
They
versions.
Yeah, that may be the demos, the 4 song. How many songs are there? I forget.
1, 2, 3, 4. See, there's 7 here. There's 4 of them labeled from the 2000 demo, and then
Yeah.
there's 3 of them labeled from the 2000 throwaway demo. So I don't
Okay.
know what that is.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
I did want to say too, I guess this band didn't get canceled too hard because they still have like 1,100,000 monthly listeners.
Still a lot of people that listen to them, and
So I mean, yeah, we'll get there.
careful.
We'll get
Walking
there.
on glass. Walking on glass.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Okay, a review on SputnikMusic.com talked favorably about the debut album, stating, quote, "Brand New doesn't redefine pop punk, but they certainly give listeners the best it has to offer. Further helping the cause is that inherent sense of anger that seems to exist in all of the band's efforts, whether it is suppressed or at the forefront. 70 times 7 is a bitter verbal assault on ex-bandmate John Nolan, who allegedly stole Jesse Lacey's girlfriend and subsequently ruined their friendship. Lacey's bone-chilling death wish of have another drink and drive yourself home. I hope there's ice on all the roads, and you can think of me when you forget your seatbelt, and again when your head goes through the windshield." Combined with a simple but fast bass line, adds a sense of unsuppressed fury to your favorite weapon. The similar mixtape is also a biting indictment, but it accomplishes its goal via contrary methods. The song starts slow, like a ballad, and works its way into a sarcastic frenzy of static, heavy electric guitars and screams of, "I know that you're a sucker for anything acoustic. When I say let's keep in touch, I hope you know I mean I'd wished you'd grow up." Obviously, the anger that Jesse Lacey let out in a little burst on Deja and Tendu is still present in Brand New's debut LP, and in certain songs, such as the aforementioned, he really allows his emotions to run rampant. Another reason that Your Favorite Weapon is so enjoyable is because amidst all of its teen-like angst and immaturity, it still manages to sound very intelligent. The No Seatbelt song is easily the best illustration of Brand New's maturity within a comparatively immature album. The song begins with low-pitched feedback and gentle acoustic guitar picking. Here, Lacey sounds as sober and resolute as ever, providing foresight into some of his later masterpieces like Play Crack the Sky and Jesus Christ. This is another thoughtful crooner featuring heartbreakingly vulnerable lyrics and proverbial lines like even new wine served in old skins cheapens the taste, and I shot the pilot, I'm begging you to fly this for me. I'm here for you to use, broken and bruised. Do you understand? Soko Amaretto Lime, on the other hand, is a moving tribute to young adulthood. The careful, deliberate strums of Lacey's acoustic guitar and the carefree attitude expressed in the lines, I'm gonna stay 18 forever, and you're just jealous because we're young and in love, serve as an anthem to youth everywhere or to those of us who are feeling a little reminiscent of the good old days. The depth expressed in these types of songs show us a glimpse of the magic to come throughout Brand New's long and successful career. In essence, this raises the question of who the real Brand New is. Are they the reckless, angry pop punkers who played and screamed their hearts out on 70 times 7? Or are they the disturbed, emotional thinkers who crafted the song's calmer but equally tumultuous ballads? The band's sophomore album, Deja and Tendu, seems to point in the latter direction, while their other efforts allude to the prior. If one were to approximate, however, he or she might suggest that there is a little of both raging inside them. As a whole, Your Favorite Weapon is the perfect companion to accompany anyone who is entering adulthood, or for anyone who wants to get lost in all the memories, love, and drama that made being 18 such a wondrous experience. The album has its share of cliches, and the topics do dwell on the typical classics of friendship, girls, getting drunk, but it also brings an unprecedented level of maturity at times. Just like anyone who is emerging into adulthood, they had their share of both angst and personal growth. Your Favorite Weapon may not be much of a progression in music, but it captures the band members' development as they take a step into their own futures and show us that it is okay to bring our immaturities and imperfections with us. Your Favorite Weapon is a flawed but honest work, and Brand New wouldn't have it any other way. Songs on this debut album include The Shower Scene, Jude Law and a Semester Abroad, Sudden Death in Carolina, Mixtape, Failure by Design, Last Chance to Lose Your Keys, Logan to Government Control, the No Seatbelt Song, 70 times 7, Secondary, Magazines, and the finisher Soko Amaretto Lime. And with the reissue of it later on, they had a bonus track which was entitled My 9 Rides Shotgun. Josh, what did you think of their debut album, 2001's Your Favorite Weapon?
Your Favorite Weapon is definitely my favorite album. Because, I mean, the rest of it just doesn't, it's just not my cup of tea. I mean, Deja and Tendu is still good. There was still some stuff about Devil and God raging inside me that I enjoyed, but for the most part, this is the bread and butter. This is early 2000s, emo core, and like they were saying, they dabble a lot. But yeah, this is definitely my favorite one. I do hate how I get back here. How do I get back? I hate how the No Seatbelt song kind of stops this album, because this album just goes and goes and goes, and then you get to the No Seatbelt song, and it almost feels like that should have been maybe closer to the end of the album if but it
Right.
just like stops it dead in its tracks and then it comes back with 70 times 7. But he could have swapped that out for another pretty upbeat song and this album would have been 11 out of 10, you know?
Right. Maybe just switch it with magazines. Because then after magazine is
Um,
Soko.
yeah,
So
yeah, it would
just
even
bring
be
it towards the
better
end of the
there.
yeah, bring it towards the end of the album.
I hate, you know, we've talked about sometimes I don't like the formula that
Hmm.
bands go for sometimes, like fast song, slow song. Then it's going to be an acoustic one. Then it would back to fast song, and fast song. And it's going to be another slow one. You know, um, if you've already got an album like this that is 98% all one way,
Right.
then why in the middle do we need to break it up with what just feels like a gratuitous sad song?
Right.
But I don't know, it's just me.
Would you almost just take it away then?
Yeah, I would throw this song out.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And I love every other track on the
I was
album.
about to say, but other than
Uh,
that,
yeah, no, other than that, it's great. I think probably some of my favorites are first couple, Shower Scene, Jude Law, um, Mixtape, Failure by Design. Yeah, I'm just gonna end up listing all of
you're
these.
just gonna list them all except for no
Yeah,
seatbelt song.
yeah. I still listen to this album a lot.
Yeah.
Like I would say I probably listen to this album once a week, once every 2 weeks.
Oh wow. Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
this has long been like a background album for me.
But it to me, it's like it fits you because you're into kind of that pop punk of like Newfound Glory and Story of the Year and such like that. So this kind of fits you,
Yeah.
you know. So I always think of you when I listen to this album. I think of you, Josh. Think of
Oh
you.
man.
Oh, so nice, man. But not in a
Yeah,
good
this
way.
is the one. I used to sit around and play Soko Amaretto Lime with James Little.
Nice. I'm gonna stay 18 forever, man.
We're both
It's,
gonna stay 18.
it's okay, man. We're not gonna change. We're gonna stay 18. Dude, I
Yeah, this is
swear.
this is a
I think
great
I
summertime album.
yeah, I think I told you before that that chorus on Soko, I feel like that's like a parody of some other song or like they borrowed that like melody because I listened to it and I'm like, it's from another song, man. But I cannot figure out what it is. Maybe I'm just like gaslighting myself or something.
I was
I
talking
don't
about
know.
what part are you talking about? Like the
So,
chorus at the end or the chorus in the
I mean,
main
the
part of the
chorus,
song?
the part where he's like, I'm gonna stay 18 forever. And
Okay.
it's not the lyrics, it's like the way he's singing it, the melody. It's like, man, that sounds like like a different, like another song from like a different band from like maybe that time era, maybe like 90s or so.
Hmm.
I don't know what it is.
We'll find it.
I don't know. Anyway, but I thought I maybe said that to you before, but I couldn't remember.
I
Um,
don't think so.
and I don't remember if you and I had talked about this before. I think me and Eric have, but um, those albums, there's albums that like make you think of. It's usually just a summertime album, is what I would call it, because I don't think I have like a album that I'm like, wintertime, yes. But yeah, summertime, this one screams summertime, man. This and for me personally, it's like this and then like almost anything Tiger's Jaw is like summertime vibes to me.
Okay.
But yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
my ultimate summertime feels are like Story So Far and probably 4 Years Strong.
Pop punk is meant to be played in the summertime, people.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to get at.
Armor for
Um,
Sleep. Oh god,
oh
Armor
yeah,
for Sleep's great.
yeah.
Summertime music.
I think I have my answer because I think it's sitting right behind you there. Is that your favorite album cover between that one behind you and the reissued one?
Yeah, this
I
one
like the
is.
newer one, man.
I think this one's the most iconic. The one I
Okay.
see the most often is the reissue because that's the one I
Yeah.
have on my phone.
Right.
But
Yeah. I
yeah, I
like the
think
reissued one better.
this one has the most like nostalgia for me though.
Okay.
So
Okay. I feel like the reissued one, it plays more again into that like summertime vibes.
yeah,
Whereas
he's
like
like
I look at
passed out on the side of the road,
yeah, whereas like
literally
this
passed out
one,
on an overpass.
right? Like this one behind you, it's kind of like, huh. I mean, I guess I just had to be there when it got, dropped the first time, but
Right. Yeah.
it was like, this doesn't make any
You
sense.
had to be there, man. You just had to
A
be there.
chess clock. What does that have to do with summertime?
Those were the times.
That's an indoor sport. Anyway, anything else to talk about, Josh, on 2001's Your Favorite Weapon? Or are you just like done talking after this album?
I have nothing else to say.
Oh, man.
No, because I really like Dejan Tendu also.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Alrighty, the band saw airtime on MTV2 and Fuse, showcasing their one and only single from their debut album, Jude Law and a Semester Abroad. The band would team up with label mates Safety and Numbers to release a split entitled Brand New Safety and Numbers Split EP.
Oh,
Originally, yeah, how original. Uh, you know what? It makes me think of something. Let me ask you, Josh, when let me back up because we haven't said this in a while. We enjoyed a good split here at the History of the Course podcast. Would you agree?
yeah, if it's done right.
If it's done
I
right.
think going through this, I found several that I was just kind of like, eh, what?
Yeah.
It can be
um,
done well, and by when it's, two amazing bands, it's a little annoying when it's a great band and a band you've never heard of. It's who the hell is this? Yeah, and then you listen to it and you're like, well, there's a reason I've never heard of these guys. They suck.
so okay, you're talking more formatting too, right? Of like the
Yeah.
song structure and stuff. Okay.
Hmm.
What about the title of the split? Are you okay with them just going, hey, it's brand new and Safety and Numbers Split EP, or would you like them to actually put some effort into it and like make a name out of it?
I'm on both sides. I would most of the time like to see them put in the effort, but I also think it would be hilarious if a band just put out a split that was called "This is the brand new." And who'd you say?
Well, I was gonna say mine would be mix their name together. It would be Safety and Brand New Numbers.
That okay, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
What was it? Safety and numbers, you said?
Safety and Numbers, yep.
It would be funny if they just called it the brand new and safety and numbers like collab demo. Like,
I
just
mean,
very.
but that's basically what they
This
did
is
though.
an album that was put together by Brand New and Safety and Numbers.
The members of Brand New and Safety and Numbers are proud to present a collaborative effort entitled Split EP. Like
Yeah,
that's the whole title.
it's like a 15 to 20 word title. Yeah, I
Right,
think that would be
exactly.
funny too.
From Triple Crown Records and Fadeaway Records brings to you Brand New and Safety and Numbers Split EP.
This is
Yeah.
the CD. It is a disc on which music is.
All right, we're getting out of control. Okay, but we both agree that it's like it'd be nice to have like put a little effort into it, right?
Yeah, this feels lazy.
Even if I mean, especially like if you just want to do something goofy like what you're saying,
Right.
or even
If
like
it's
what
a
I was
good
saying,
joke, that's one thing,
right?
but this is just
Yeah.
lazy.
Safety and Brand New Numbers Split EP. You know what? I'm changing the name right now. I'm changing it. That's what it's
That's what
going to
it
be called.
is. That's what it is
All
going
right.
forward.
Let me rewind here. The band would team up with label mates Safety and Numbers to release a split 2002's Safety and Brand New Numbers Split EP from Triple Crown and Fadeaway Records. Now, originally, Josh, Safety in Numbers wasn't supposed to do this split. It was originally supposed to be Brand New and the band Reggie and the Full Effect. Have you ever heard of them before?
No.
Okay. So it probably wouldn't have worked out anyway.
Reggie and the Full Effect.
Reggie and the Brand New Full Effect split EP. Hey, all right. It works. Because of Brand New having their name
The
Brand
full
New,
effect
it
of the
works.
brand new Reggie.
There you go, man. There you go. Yeah, those plans fell through. So Safety and Numbers stepped in. Sold as part of a pre-order package for the band's sophomore full-length album, Deja Intendu. Songs on this split included Brand New's 2 songs, Moshi Moshi and Am I Wrong, which is a cover of from the band Love Spit Love, while Safety in Numbers did No Use and the Journey cover Faithfully. Do 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 do. Yeah. Southern Light. Anyway,
Oh my God.
the next 2 years following their debut release saw the band tour nonstop in support of Your Favorite Weapon, while also writing material for their next release. No time to waste, Josh. We must release a new album. Giving details about the writing process, drummer Brian Lane stated, quote, Jesse wrote a lot of the lyrics about different things than I just broke up with my girlfriend for the new record. Lane also...
What is he, Taylor Swift?
He's the male version of Taylor Swift. Lane would also cite a growth in maturity and influence in the band, stating, quote, all of us got exposed to a lot of different music that all of us were listening to. For the first album, we weren't in such close quarters for 24 hours a day. I think that has a lot to do with it. Josh, let's talk a little bit about 2003's Deja Intendu from Triple Crown and Tie and Razor Records. Produced once again by Mike Sapone, debuted at number 63 on the Billboard 200, and by the 7th week of sales, the album had sold over 51,000 copies, later being certified gold 4 years later in 2007 for selling over 500 copies in the US. Do you know what the title of the album stands for, Josh?
No.
Do you even know what language it is?
No.
It is French, and it is Already Heard.
Already heard.
Already Heard.
Huh.
Yeah. Elaborating on the album title's meaning, Jesse Lacey told MTV, quote, no matter who you are or what your band is about, you can't put a record out without people saying it's derivative of something else. So by saying the record's already been heard, it's kind of like we're saying, yeah, you're right. We're doing something that's already been done before. We're not trying to break new ground in music. We're just trying to make good music. Fun fact for you, Josh, the album artwork of the spaceman hovering over water was done by brothers and bandmates Don and Ryan Clark of the band Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Many
Hey,
of the
what
songs.
what did Lacey say when MTV questioned him about the allegations of sexual misconduct?
Oh, I don't think anybody ever did.
What did he say? What did he say when MTV asked him that?
I don't know if MTV asked him.
Just when you were saying that about MTV, the thought of MTV asking him that was just hilarious to me. Oh, cool,
Okay.
cool. Oh, and also, Lacey, what do you think about what?
What about these allegations against you, man? Huh? Oh, look at the time. I gotta go. Many of the songs reference films such as Home Alone 2, Amelia, Dogma, and Wes Anderson's Rushmore, while also referencing such topics as turning into a washed up figure after your prime is ended, cancer, because everybody's got to do something about cancer, criticizing the music industry, and the shipwreck of the FV Pelican in 1951. Yeah.
Stop doing songs about cancer.
What's oh man, there was a band we talked about not so long ago, and I think it was like a bonus track. and the song was called "We Don't Need Another Song About California," I think. And maybe it may have been My Chemical Romance, but
I
some
think
band
it
that we've already
was.
yeah, okay, about to say some band we've already talked about. They had a bonus track that was entitled that, and now every time I see something like that, I'm like, somebody needs to write a song that says, "We don't need another song about cancer."
Yeah,
It's like we really don't.
we
We
really
get
don't.
it. It sucks. We get it, but we don't need any more songs. It's
Awful.
already been
Let's
written.
please not, yeah,
Yeah, we don't need another
let's
one.
not do that to another album.
A staff writer at SputnikMusic.com looked back on the band's sophomore album, stating, excuse me, quote, "This is an album that, in my opinion, is attached to my generation. It isn't necessarily the best technically, instrumentally, or anything like that, but it grew up with us. We could relate to the way that Lacey screamed, 'This is the reason you're alone, this is the rise and the fall,' at the end of Tommy Gun. We understood the desperation in his voice and the subtle undertone of sexual frustration in Me versus Maradona versus Elvis. We were just beginning to see how brilliant the lyrics were to play Crack the Sky, a song that simultaneously deals with love, death, and relationships on a singular metaphorical level. These emotions were new to us, and we had a feeling that they meant something to the man singing about them too. Brand New's debut, Your Favorite Weapon, was a regular exercise in pop punk and an excellent one at that. But Deja and Tindu revolutionized the band's sound. No longer were they the binge drinking, drama infatuated kiddos that made songs like Failure by Design and 70 times 7. Along with their increased experience in life came more mature topics and a sound that mirrored it without losing any of the energy and sarcasm that made Your Favorite Weapon such an eager listen. Evolving is always tricky, but in spite of the clear turmoil facing the band, they seem to be handling it, which is something I admired and tried to imitate as I came face to face with my own issues. All right, life problems. More than anything, Deja and Tindu was something people my age could look to for comfort, a friend who could show us the way when we had nobody else to talk to. Even outside of the life phase transitions that I associated this with, Deja and Tindu still retains qualities that continue to call to me in my adult life. The album was more than just an exodus from immaturity, it was an arrival at the complexities of adulthood. Just like any young adult blindly feeling his or her way about, Brand New was facing full on maturity with nothing but a guess as to how to deal with it. The lyrical quotes, "Die young and save yourself," and "Is this the way a toy feels when the batteries run dry?" suggests that Jesse Lacey was facing the crisis with just as many doubts as you or I would. Of course, Play Crack the Sky is the ultimate example of the band's development, complete with acoustic strumming mimicking ocean waves and reflective thoughts on love and morality, like what they call love is a risk, because you always get hit out of nowhere by some wave and end up on your own. And my personal favorite, you know that you are not alone and need you like water in my lungs. This is the end. Not only is it the best acoustic song in Brand New's discography, but it may well be the best acoustic song of the last decade. As it closes out Deja and Tindu, it shows that Brand New's transformation is complete and invites you to join them. As a whole, I think we are all aware that Deja and Tindu isn't the most musically profound record of our generation. Hell, it isn't even the best thing Brand New has done in that regard, but very few other albums have identified with us as well as this one. This album is equally parts music and companionship, and it refuses to leave you behind as you go from high school to college to your first job. At this point in my life, it is difficult to say if Deja and Tindu will always mean this much to me. As life presents me with new obstacles and different challenges befall me, I may find that I have outgrown it. But even if that is true, it helped me get to where I am now, and ultimately where I will be if and when I get over Deja and Tindu. From that lonely morning at age 16 all the way through my college graduation, I have continued to learn something new from it with each successive listen. For that reason alone, I will always look back and appreciate Deja and Tindu, the album that defined my transition to adulthood. He's a man. Songs on this album include Tattoo, Sick Transit Gloria, Glory Fades. I will play my game beneath the spin lights. Okay, I believe you, but my Tommy gun don't. The Quiet Things That No One Ever Knows, The Boy Who Blocked His Own Shot, Jaws theme, Swimming, Me versus Maradona versus Elvis, Guernica. Good to know that if I ever need attention, all I have to do is die. And the finale, Play Crack the Sky. What'd you think of Deja Intendu, Josh?
It is an iconic album. I do agree with most of the stuff in the review there. Um, this was just a crazy popular album. Like I remember this being on repeat. It was all over the place. You would hear Jaws theme swimming all the time. You would hear Boy Who Blocked His Own Shot. The album artwork is one of those that's just kind of burned into your memory.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't hate Deja Intendu. It's just like this is where they kind of start to play with a little bit more of those kind of quiet, sad themes
Right.
that creep up more and more throughout the other albums. So
It's the quiet things that no one ever knows, Josh.
yeah, they'll get you.
They'll get you.
Yeah. What do you think my favorite song is on this one?
Ooh, your favorite. Okay. Hmm. I feel like you've told me before. Is it Boy Who Blocked His Own Shot?
No,
Okay. Is it Quiet Things?
no.
Is it Jaws?
Yep.
Okay. So I was in the neighborhood there. Okay.
Yeah, it's
That's a
Jaws
good one.
theme swimming, and it's mainly it's the main guitar riff through, I guess what you would call like the chorus. Just the yeah, it's just like perfect timing for how he decides to well, perfect guitar perfect guitar timing for the timing he decides to use for the vocals. So
Yeah. Let me ask you overall, forget the sad lyrics over their discography. Because obviously, like you said, it's like we're trending that way and we're going to get there, especially on the next one and so on and so forth. But overall, musically, across their discography, do you like it all the way across, or do you tend to stick more towards the front half of their discography musically?
I think the front half probably the most
Okay.
for me. I mean, it's
Okay.
good throughout.
They've got
but-
like very interesting guitar tones, especially later on,
Mhm.
that I really enjoy. But
Well, I think they probably get more into the pedal game as this goes
oh,
on.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, yeah, right now, and especially in the last album, you're sticking with your basic stuff at that time. Whereas I feel like once you get to, obviously they're working with some stuff here on Deja, but once you get to like Devil and God, you're really starting to experiment. And then I believe they basically labeled Daisy as like their experimental album,
Okay.
which I mean, there's a lot of um kind of like production work in that one, it feels like. So
Okay.
more effects and such. But anyway. Yeah. What do you think my favorite is on this album?
Um,
Trick question. No, I'm just kidding.
Boy Who
I
Blocked
think
His
I have
Own
a
Shot?
favorite. No, it's a good one. I mean,
Quiet Things No One Ever Knows?
it's a good one too. There's really not a bad song on this album. Do you have a one that you like that's like your seatbelt song?
Not that take me that far out of it, and I think that's because this album has more of those layered in.
Right.
So it doesn't feel as jarring as
Right.
Seatbelt Song does. Yeah, and that's the difference. This is an album that's probably primarily this way, slower, quieter songs, and with a few peppered in that are a little more, I guess you could say heavy, but
Mhm.
yeah, I don't think so. What was your
Okay.
favorite on this one?
I think I'm gonna go with. Oh wait, no, you did say it. It was Quiet Things. Never mind.
What the
My
hell?
bad. My bad. I don't know what I thought you
Trick
said. My bad.
question. It was
Trick
quiet things. No one ever knows. What the hell? I
Yeah,
said
that's a
that.
good one. Because I love the back and forth of the chorus.
Okay.
Da-da-da, da-da-da-da. You know, that kind of like
Mhm.
answer and call and type thing. That's pretty cool. But yeah, that's a good hype song, man. It get you going. Get you going.
Yeah.
But will say I really do love the bass line on Sick Transit, dude. Do 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 do. That's a
Yeah.
driver right there. Yep, 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 yep. I mean, for a full band, you know, two guitarists, bassist, and a drummer, I appreciate the fact that I can hear the bass clearly in their
Yes. Yeah.
production.
Well, in a lot of bands like
Pisses
this,
me
they would
off
dial
so
it.
much, man.
They dial it
Yeah.
out pretty much. So
Yeah. Pisses me off when they do that, man. It's like, I want to hear the bass. I want to hear the bass, man. Yeah. But I'm with you too. It's like this when I think the first album that I heard from Brand New was actually Devil and God. So I usually think of that one first, but when I think of like overall Brand New, I always see the album cover for Deja first. Right? So I
yeah.
think I'm with you. It's like this is kind of like their iconic album that really put them on the scene. Favorite Weapon was good and it did a lot for them, obviously. But Deja really threw that pin in the map for them, you know.
Yeah.
So, you got anything else for Deja Nintendo, Josh? Deja Nintendo,
I don't think so.
Nintendo. Yeah, cool. Alrighty, man. That's 2003's sophomore album, Deja Nintendo from Triple Crown and Tie and Razor Records. Nintendo 64. Word of mouth about the band's newest album created such a buzz among fans that on their US headlining tour, 3 of their shows, Josh, sold out before the release of any of their singles. So, yeah. I mean, that's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's some good word of mouth, man. That's some good word of mouth.
That anticipated. Yeah.
Yeah. The success from Deja and Tindu saw the band touring with the likes of Moneen, Senses Fail, The Beautiful Mistake, Newfound Glory, Good Charlotte, Dashboard Confessional, and Blink 182. The band was also invited to headline Bamboozle Festival alongside My Chemical Romance, Alkaline Trio, Thrice, The Starting Line, Fall Out Boy, The Bouncing Souls, Straight Light Run, and one of Josh's favorites, Floggy Molly.
Nah.
Nah.
Not a
I thought
big
you liked
Flogging
them.
Molly fan.
I thought you liked them. Okay.
They're like
Yep.
oh god, it'll come to me.
Yep. Mhm.
Hold on.
They're
Hold
Yep.
on.
Their second
God.
tour ever to the UK in 2004 saw the band sell out every single concert. The band's 2 music videos for The Quiet Things That No One Ever Knows and Sick Transit Gloria, Glory Fades saw consistent playing time on MTV, Dropkick Murphys, by the way.
Yeah,
While the band
they're just
also
a weak version of the Dropkick Murphys.
Yeah, but I think they're actually from the motherland. That's the difference.
Flogging Molly.
Yeah, I think they're from Ireland, if I remember correctly. Could be
Okay.
wrong. Could be wrong, but I thought they were.
I mean, most of the guys from Dropkick are like Irish descent, but
Yeah, but they're not from the motherland, are they?
no. Some of them maybe. I don't know.
Second-rate citizens. Anyway. The Quiet Things That No One Ever Knows and Sick Transit Gloria music videos saw consistent playing time on MTV, while the band also made their television debut on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Josh, I tell you, the hype was real. Sold out concerts, music videos on MTV, Jimmy Kimmel Live. We're hitting the big time, Josh. We're hitting the big time. In December 2003, the band would release a 5-song EP entitled The Holiday EP, which featured 2 demos and 2 acoustic versions of previously released songs from their first 2 albums, as well as a cover of the song Oh, holy night. The EP was only available for members of their street team. MySpace street teams, yeah. In the wake of Deja Entendu, Brand New was pegged as an act to watch in Rolling Stone's annual Hot Issue. The band topped Punk Critics' year-end list with the genre-defying Deja Entendu, and the album was described as a, quote, landmark album of so-called emo punk. With their 2-album contract up with Triple Crown Records, the band would look to elevate to a new and better record company. Triple Crown Records knew that they would not be able to match any offers for the band from the for offers on Triple Crown Records
two.
knew they would not take two. Triple Crown Records knew they would not be able to match any offers for the band from other labels, as some would describe the multi-labels pursuit of the group as a bidding war. Spin Magazine categorized Brand New in the what they dubbed mainstreamo genre.
Oh,
Interesting. That's a new one. Mainstreamo genre, which was a trend at the time that saw bands labeled as emo getting signed to major record labels. What do you think about that that new name there, Josh? Mainstreamo.
I like it.
Mainstreamo. It always makes me think of the episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when they do the home makeover, extreme home makeover. And she's trying to do the Spanish, and she's like, "Yes, extremo,
Oh yeah.
mainstreamo." In the end, the band would settle with DreamWorks Records, which would soon after be renamed to Interscope Records, allowing the band total creative control of their future music endeavors. We have what we want, Josh. We have total creative control. And that's what everybody wants, right? In the music scene, that's what you want. That's the goal. You don't want to get told by a record company what to do or how many songs or what it should sound like. You want full control. And
Well,
they
he
got
wants
it.
total control. We know that.
Josh, that's all I have for this episode, part 1, Brand New. What is your thoughts on the first half of discography of Brand New?
These 2 albums still hold a lot of nostalgia for me for sure. And I mean, like I said, even beyond the nostalgia factor, like Your Favorite Weapon is in my rotation. So
Right.
if I was still rocking the 6 CD changer, it would be one of the 6.
Ah, the old what was that? What kind of car was that?
There's a Pontiac Grand Am.
Grand Am, the old
It had
red
a
Grand
6
Am.
CD changer in the trunk.
Yeah, with trash piled high on the passenger side for days.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what's that? You're hungry? Let's look in the pile over here to see if there's anything good.
No.
Yeah.
You
No,
don't eat
I
from the pile, they're empty wrappers.
I specifically remember you doing that to me one day. Driving home from school, and I was like, "Bro, I'm hungry." And you're like, "Yeah, let's look see what we got over here. Anything good?" It's like, "No, not eating from that pile, bro."
I am sure I was joking.
You may have been a little high. I don't know.
Valid.
Valid. Point taken. Point taken. Point Curtis. 1-0. Give me a little preview of the next episode, Josh. The next 3 albums, Devil and God, Daisy, and Science Fiction. Do you have? Obviously, they're not your favorites. Obvious.
Well, and I've not
Obvious.
listened to science fiction.
Okay. So, but you've listened to Daisy, right?
Yes, it has
Okay.
just been a long time.
Yeah. So, do you just flat out not like those 2? Or is there just like little stuff here and there you're kind of like okay with?
There's stuff I like
obviously, you know, like you said earlier, like the sad boy lyrics is like,
Yeah.
and I'm with you too. It's like sometimes it's like that gets too much. Sing something
I-
happy.
There's or at least something with a more upbeat sound. It doesn't
Right.
even you can keep the lyrics the same, but
Right.
just don't put me to sleep while I'm listening to it. But yeah, Devil and God still has some stuff that I like about it. Daisy, before I really speak on that, I'm gonna have to re-listen to it because I don't really remember a lot about it.
Yeah, I will say, kind of give you a preview of the next episode with Daisy. There was a lot of like you either like their fan base was very torn on it. And again, I think it kind of goes back to like what I said earlier. It's kind of dubbed as their experimental album. There's a lot of production work to it, effects and such like that. But the fan base was really split on it, whereas like you either loved it or you just absolutely hated it. And it's weird because like I'm kind of in the middle where it's like there's some of those songs I'm like, I could do without that. And then there's other songs I'm like, yeah, I really like that song. So
Yeah.
I'm sitting on the fence like Dwight, face down.
Well,
Optimal.
we'll see. We'll see what this next listen
Yeah.
does for
Yeah.
us.
Cool. Alrighty, man, let's get on out of here. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at @IsSurvivedByPro for news and the latest episode postings, not just on this show, but our other shows as well. Mentioned
All
it
the
earlier in
shows.
all the shows. Mentioned it earlier. We had 2 brand new episodes the past couple of weeks of the History of the Chorus After Hours podcast, covering the bands AFI and To Speak of Wolves. So go check that out. Go listen to see what Eric has to say about it, because you've already heard me and Josh talk about it. Now let's hear a third opinion. What's that? You want a fourth opinion too? Well, maybe we'll get somebody else now.
After hours.
We also have the Red Right Hand podcast, which has covered all 6 seasons of the Peaky Blinders. And we also have the Throne of the Dragon podcast, which so far has covered season 1, soon to be season 2. We're getting there. Another month down.
Almost there.
We're almost there, people. Just hang on just a little longer, man.
Just
but yeah.
stay alive a little longer.
Right. Please, government, don't collapse yet. Oh boy. Can just hold out just a little longer than that Civil War, please. Just
What
hold out a little longer.
What a sad way we are living our lives.
Anyway, we just had a brand new episode of the Throne of the Dragon podcast come out this past week. It was we're covering our Fire and Blood chapter by chapter series. That chapter was entitled A Surfeit of Rulers. It was a good one. I enjoyed it. It's a really good chapter. And maybe you will too.
It was called You Can't Tell Me What to Do, Roger.
Basically, yeah. Roger. Yes. Yes. I win. I have indoctrinated him. It is Roger. Roger Baratheon. Aha! My name has been Roger this whole time. Also, while you're on Twitter, make sure to follow my co-host at Joshua Lynn Gary. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review and write us a comment on whatever podcast service you're using. And if you want to listen to us, see our smiling faces. Just head on over to our YouTube page. Just search Is Survived by Productions, and that'll have every episode from all of our shows. Subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video. Alrighty, we will see you in the next episode where we will finish our look at the band known as Brand New. Till then, we'll see you.